Mr. Chairman, you gave me an assignment.
Yeah, before you tell me what you've done with it, let me seize the opportunity to recognize some of the eminent personalities we have in our midst. Honorable members, I want us to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Ahmed Sahid Nasrallah, President of SLAJ, Umaru Fofana, the BBC stringer, Joseph Kapua, Esquire, the DG SLBC, Kelvin Lewis, former SLAJ President, Dr. Ibrahim Shiga Shaw, Chairman, Rights to Access Information Commission, Femi Jared Coker, President WIMSAL. I recognize for the second time the one and only Asma James, Station Manager, 98.1. Mamadi Gobe Kamara, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Information and Communication, and the one and only women's leader of the great SLPP, Madam Fatmata Sawane, and many, many, many others, including officials of the IMC. I hope I have not left out anyone. Okay, you are here.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, as we have been following the spirit of the bill at this committee stage, I looked at the provision that you made reference to, and I realized it has the same effect like the ones that we have deleted. That is 25D, 25(2)D, and I'll read the entire section so that we put it in context. A license shall not be granted by the Commission under subsection 1 unless the Commission is satisfied that A, the particulars contained in the application are correct and sufficient. B, there is evidence of the applicant's technical capacity to provide the services. C, the application fee has been paid. And D, the application is in the public interest, providing access to plurality of views and variety of programming. Mr. Chairman, we have already deleted the ones that has to do with newspapers and magazines. If we leave this one, it will impact the televisions and radios, and it will be unfair on those ones in that section of the business. So I will recommend, as chairman, that we get rid of it as we got rid of those other ones in 14-15. Because they have the same purpose in the bill.
And in the interest of consistency.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know what the minister thinks about that.
I'm game, Chairman. I'm game. I support it.
Good. So it goes. Then the leader of government business was engaged in coming to some agreement whilst we await his return to the well, we shall proceed with the other provisions. We'll come back to it. Now that has, oh yes, there is this question of one area we see a discretion. This is in terms of the duration. We see a discretion on the one hand, and on the other hand, we see some specificity. So have you resolved that? The leader of government business is here.
Chairman, just give us a few minutes so we can sanitize the document.
Okay.
Just a few minutes.
Okay, never mind, we'll come back to it. So that takes us to
26.
26. Yes, Chief.
I'm so sorry to take you back on 24B.
Yes, sir.
There
is nothing to be sorry about. We want to get something right.
24B said a partnership registered under the Partnership Act 1890, 130 years ago, for the ministry to bring an act of parliament to this, they should have given us the act, because at that time there was no parliament in Sierra Leone. So the governor rules by ordinance. Ordinance. So let us get the 1890 Act. We understand what the partnership said there, Mr. Speaker. Because it is just moved, and I took note, because I know that it is ordinances that the governor and the Home Office in London used to pass rules and regulations.
I know you're quite right.
So let us get the 1890 Act before we pass this Act, or we'll delete them.
Mr.
130 years ago.
Mr. Chairman, I have just spoken to the representative of the Fourth Parliamentary Council. He tells me this act falls under the laws of Sierra Leone. Yes, but he's here with us now.
And is extant?
Yes, it's extant. He tells us it's extant, and I believe him. He's a colleague at the bar, and he knows the daunting nature of what we are doing here. He will not mislead the House of Parliament.
There are some acts that are dated 1861.
What we do, what the Parliament of Sierra Leone does, is they pass a consequential bill to adopt those. So if they are coming in with those, they should have distributed that to us. Like what they did, they gave us the 2020 and they gave us the 2000. So we can compare and contrast with the 1890 Act.
They will take that one in good stead next time.
But if we've already passed the Act and it doesn't correspond well with what we are doing.
Mr. Honorable Parliament Chief, I just
Did you read it?
Yes.
You sure?
No, the act, no. I read the
1890,
provision.
did you read it?
The provision I did.
No, the 1890 Act, did you act? Because it's not on the provision of that Act. You took in the entire Act, a partnership registered under the Partnership Act of 1890. What is that? Give us the rules and regulations that made you to include this, or made the minister. Let the minister answer, sir. Please, sir.
Has there been any amendment to that act since?
None. It is as it was. And his fears has been that the 1890 is too old. But like you rightly said, there are acts that are much more older than this. He's saying the Parliament of Sierra Leone was not in existence. There are laws that we actually got by because they were in existence in the United Kingdom. So they fall under the laws of Sierra Leone. So this is one of those laws that were brought in and fell under the laws of Sierra Leone.
I know, sir.
No, but Chief,
We passed those
is
under
the word-
consequential bills.
Maybe it's the word act that is confusing you.
Yeah.
You want to see the
We
word
want to see it,
ordinance?
sir. Not only, I'm not challenging the legality of it, the presence of it, the establishment of it in this parliament or alone. But if you are, yes, sir, it is always the normal practice anywhere in parliament that the act that is quoted, that is included, is supplied to us for us to read and understand it before we include it. This is my premises that I'm trying to establish.
And you are right. Your point is valid and noted. So, okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I think we have something now in place of the validity of the license. I've got something from the draft plan. Mr. We want to maintain the spirit of the renewal for that is enshrined in the bill, and that for the NATCOM, because it explained about the spectrum. Why do you need 2 years to have spectrum? So in the worry, we don't want to have 2 years for IMC and 2 years for spectrum. But in the spirit, they have given us something. Take note so that, let me read. You can also help us what he has given us. So it's a new insertion. After clause, that is P21, after subclause 3, G, we do a new subclause. Subclause 4. The commission is talking about me, but I want to use shall, and making it mandatory, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F, that is talking about the license.
Where the
applicant is in breach of paragraph F. Should be clause F. Clause F. Of subclause. Are you with me? Yeah, the applicant is in breach of subclause F. Of clause 3. Order that the applicant pay the sum of 5 million leones for each day in default. 5 million leones for each day in default.
The applicant shall pay?
Yes. Yeah, that's the end.
No, read it again. Shall pay what?
No, listen. The commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of, clause F, no, subclause F, of clause 3, order that the applicant pay a sum of 5 million leones for each day in default. Okay, I'll be finding difficult with this.
5 million.
Yeah, let's come again. Yes, they have changed. We have changed. Yeah. Let's patient, please. We are trying to draft something here. Yeah. Page 21, subclause 3. We are doing new clause. The commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F. He said, let us use paragraph F of subclause 3. Paragraph F of subclause 3, order that the applicant pay the sum of 5 million leones for each day in default. For each day in default. This paragraph F is talking about the acknowledge that the license shall be valid for a period of 1 year. Yeah. And we have to remove that and. Okay, this is the last one. Now we talk about inserting new subclause 4. Yeah. The applicant, the commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F of subclause 3, order that the applicant pay the sum of 5 million euros each day in default. Each day in default.
How does that?
It's F.
How is that consistent with A?
If you don't renew your license, the validity is for 1 year. The validity is for 1 year. If you don't renew, you are fine using this clause. Because they don't renew because of the provision. They don't because of the spectrum. They find off. Yes. F. No, that has nothing to do with A.
Well,
Pay the commission for the duration of the license, search fees and mail. No, it's just the license. That's just the license given to you. These are talking about you have to be given a license for a validity period of 1 year. It's 1 year. So if you are in breach of non-renewal, we are talking about. Because of the provision, we have to about the spectrum. If you go back to clause 25, subclause B, make a recommendation for the spectrum license we are talking about, the spectrum license. And if you go to the NATCOM Act, it's 2 years. If you want to renew for the spectrum license, it's 2 years. So if you fail to renew your license for the IMC, you pay in breach of F. You pay 5 million in default of every day. Every day. You bring up your proposal. Let us debate it.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
What is the validity period of the license?
IMC.
What is the validity period of the license?
It's 1 year.
Is 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year definite.
Yes.
Now compare that with A.
Mr. Speaker, A is talking about A is to pay. You pay. That is what you pay.
It's too much.
You pay commission for duration of the license. Such fee as may be determined by the commission. That's the fee you pay. But you must come for renewal. You don't come for renewal because of this spectrum license. Okay, fine. So now the 5 million is the proposal. Don't be in sympathy with them.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ. I know it's very difficult for someone to go against the rules and regulations of the act that we are about to pass here or the bill that we are perusing. But, Mr. Speaker, for us to have what we say 5 million loans a day for if somebody breaches, it's too much for me.
So you make sure you go quickly.
Now, Mr. Speaker, we have to agree, and we are since morning we've been a unanimous house, so we have to continue with the unanimosity. We cannot continue with things that are not unanimous, Mr. Speaker. 5 million loans for me, I beg to differ, is too much. Let's calm down, because if we want to have the media to regulate itself or themselves, let us try to be very magnanimous here. Let's have something like 1 million loans, but 5 million loans is too.
So grace period for them to come to license. And I also want us to know what is the original fee per year. How much are they paying for the license per year? Mr. Chairman, because let's say the person is a company and is out of the jurisdiction as at the time that his license terminates. He must be given some time to come and pay. And with all respect to my leader, I think 5 million is not peanuts a day. I think it's even more than the annual fee.
Chairman, I don't see, we don't need to wrong. We need to debate and have a consensus. We have just proposed the subsection 4, subclause 4. What you can do, bring your own proposal. So we can have unanimity in this one. This is just a proposal I've done so that we can keep the spirit of the IMC Parents Act and that of the Telecommunication Act and that of what you are proposing to follow with the IMC. Because the minister has explained, let's pay attention please. He has explained that to get spectrum or whatsoever is difficult. It's a bit expensive. We agree with him. We want to keep the spirit in the Transcom Act. But for the IMC, they're talking about validity period of 1 year. And if they don't have the technology to take them off here, they don't have. So the only way to ensure that you come and renew, you stay within the validity period, is to put something that can urge you to come and renew your license. Because if they are still broadcasting, it means they will not come for the renewal. Because if for the frequency, for the spectrum, it's going to be controlled by NASCOM. And if there is personality difference between NASCOM and IMC, there is no way they are going to take them off here. They will say, so far I'm concerned, NASCOM, they are operating legally. While IMC will say they are not operating legally. So for me, the proposal here is for them to come and renew in the period of 1 year. Mr. Chairman, what you are saying, if you are going to give them grace period to come and pay, what you are saying the money is too much. I am expecting you to bring a proposal from both sides so we can harmonize this and have a uniform way out of this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I have just proposed.
I have a proposal, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would say they be given, say, a month's grace period. Thank you. And after that month, if you come to renew, you pay 50% of the annual fee as a penalty for late renewal.
No, that is even too much. Mr. Chairman, let me help my chair on this.
No, not on a daily basis. Not on a daily basis. Yes, as late fee. As 50% of the annual fee as a late fee. Yes.
Well, what is the period, the grace period?
No, it's 1 month. Chairman, can you...
Mr. Chairman.
Wait. Let me just come in so we can have direction. I know you are concerned. Now he has tried to put it in a very good shape for us. He's still talking about 1 month grace period. Don't pay attention. He said, let's talk about 1 month grace period. And after that, because we don't have specified fee enshrined in the bill now, what we have there, the commission is going to levy the fee amount. So whatever amount is going to be levied, because of late fee, you pay 50% offset amount that will be levied by the commission. That's what he's proposing. So what you will do for us, you now Chairman, bring it in a better shape so that we can take note of it and we debate it. Let us allow him to bring it again so he can debate from that point. Can we allow the chairman to propose? Okay. Honorable. Come again.
Thank you, leader.
Mr. Chairman.
I can see where AKK is coming from.
Thank you, sir.
He's the sole proprietor of a feature radio in College.
Mr. Chairman, that is not it. But considering we have community radio, and for members of parliament who are in the provinces, let's take this seriously because we know how these journalists will knock at our doors to pay their registrations. And if it is so, let's also have a situation in which we give them 1 month, as the chairman has stated, and at least 15% as a fine when they fail to. But 50%, if somebody cannot pay the 100%, and in 1 month you'll be struggling to pay that, and it's a community radio, and when we pass this law, let's also take into consideration of our community radios who are also playing a key role in national development, but they cannot even earn the money for registration. Let's alone the fine. 50% is okay, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I think, Honorable, you are missing the point. Are you promoting people who breach the law? Or,
Never.
Okay, I'm coming.
But I am
so,
the fact of reality.
I'm coming. So if you know you are in the community, that's why we have a grace period. We have proposed a grace period of 1 year, 1 month. So I'm coming. So the law is for all. It's not because you are in Kailaun or you are in Bukakajama, Bulambama, so you don't obey the rules. You obey the law. So what you are proposing, he said 1 month grace period. For the distance, if you are coming from Kwendu to come and renew your license, you have 1 month to do that. So you are also proposed. 50%. No, but you don't even know the amount you are going to pay.
That's why we are going for 50%.
So we don't know. But why we put it to vote? Let us. Okay, no. For me, whatever amount, let there be penalty for you.
10%.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, initially the leader has said 5 million loans daily. So we have now said we peg it at 50% of the annual fee. So we can now.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, please. Yeah.
Point of order. Mr.
Chairman.
For the fee, for AKK, Honorable Abukari, you are talking about community radio. So I would like the minister to give some edification on that, because the price, the fees are different. For that, in the urban commercial, they are different. So let's just hear from him, so we can take it from there. So we cannot misconstrue of encouraging people who are breaching the law.
Yes. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, this is when you get to know the baseline. It's so ridiculous. You will withdraw all of the police, all of the proposals you are making. Community radio stations pay 500,000 euros for renewal. Now, if you cannot pay, you have no business being on air. Even the political engagements they host for all of us in our various communities.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
And 500,000 loans. And the other ones pay something like 1 million. So really, we should not be belaboring this. Thank you.
Let's wait. Mr. Chairman, the law we are passing today is not having a cost for
My friends, if you cannot pay 500,000 for radio Colente.
It's better you listen. Let's listen to ourselves, then we understand. Mr. Minister, the law we are passing today does not have a cost for
Okay, we
any IMC chairman or board will come today and say registration for community radios is 15 million. Yeah? And because we are making a law that will stand the test of time, that is why I'm saying let it be 15% of whatever total. And don't forget, in this act, we have also said they should pay their workers and pay NASI for them. In my own community, my people, the people running radio stations, cannot pay their staff if they are more than 5 out of the proceeds of the radio station. But they still are playing a role on behalf of government. So what I'm saying is, in their own situation, and I'm not here to represent a station in Freetown, but the one in my remote area, 15% of the total is okay.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman. Can I just help my colleague member of Parliament on the other side, please, sir, please. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
I beg your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, if your eyes... Mr. Chairman. Can I just respond to you, sir, please? No, let me just respond to you, sir, please. Let me respond to you, sir, please. I beg you. No. No, hold on. No. Hold on, sir, please. No.
Honorable, wait, let us wait. You are making a brilliant point. Wait.
How many people are you leading?
You are making a brilliant point.
My leader have spoken.
Mr. Chairman.
How many people is he leading?
I wanted to respond to you. But you go ahead and talk.
NGC, 4 of them are leaders.
My leader. Hold on, sir. Hold on.
How many people are you leading?
Hold on.
Youth leader.
Mr. Chairman.
I lead so many people. How many
Mr.
people
Chairman,
are you leading?
hold on.
Youth leader.
Can I just say...
I am leading all the youth in this world. I am leading all the youth in this world. How many people are you leading?
Now you don't so.
You, sir, with all due respect, my colleague from the other side.
He's the leader. He's the leader.
Please, sir. Please, sir. I know he's a leader. I know.
Jalo, you have to allow the leader to speak.
We only have one opposition leader. We only have one opposition leader here.
My view, I want... Let us look at a radio station that cannot pay. We are not talking about radio stations that are refusing to pay, but let us look at radio stations that cannot pay. I remember very well my own radio station in my village, okay? The other day, the manager was panting behind me for payment. This means there are radio stations that cannot pay. So let us look at them and let us look at their willingness to pay, but the means not being there. So I believe it's better for us to tag a percentage. I mean, somebody cannot pay a particular amount. Now you want to make him pay more than what he has, what he cannot pay. I mean, it's funny. So at least let us look at it from a percentage point of view. Now somebody has suggested 15%. I want to suggest 10%.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, please.
Mr. Chairman, I have consulted with my brothers on the other side, and I think we are in agreement for a 20%.
Yes.
Yes.
We are in agreement.
Mr. Chairman, can I be heard, please?
Okay, I accept the 20%. I agree also with the 20%.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, so please, sir. I'll be standing now on several occasions, sir. Please, with all due respect, you are my senior. Can I just say something to you, sir, please? Mamuto Koto. Mr. Speaker.
Look.
Mr. Speaker, I mean, Mr. Chairman.
All members, take your seats. All of you, take your seats. Now, I know the problem is with the quantum. What have you agreed to? 20%.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let's get the draftsman to redraft that particular provision.
Let's proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, well, we'll get it ready. In the meantime, we'll proceed.
Mr. Chairman.
Who?
Yes. Yes, sir.
On this matter?
No, we're not on the quantum of money. It's about clarification, Mr. Chairman.
What clarification?
The 1 month grace period. In the event,
let's allow the draftsman to redraft that.
No, it's about the expiration date, sir, of the license. In the event somebody defaults.
Let us wait for the new draft. In the meantime, we'll proceed.
Mr. Chairman, may I proceed with section 27, sir?
26 first.
26, sir.
Page 22.
Mr. Chairman, it's our recommendation that clause 25 and 26 be approved.
There's a small typo in 3C. 26 3C. I'm sure you meant WHERE.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think that one was captured.
Now, let's come to 27.
27.
26 1D, another public interest. That goes. Is that okay with you?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, but yes, Mr. Chairman. Sorry to take in your back. Same provision for public interest. But this time, we have not been able to, in page 21, go back to page 21, sub-clause D. Sub-clause D. Page 21.
Yes, 21.
I don't know if this one was deleted or amendment was made.
Where?
The applicant is in the public interest, providing access to plurality of views and variety of programming.
Deleted.
Yeah, but this one is a little bit different. There is something the parent should not be able to locate. Talking about plurality in terms of programming. The slide members just drew my attention to that. Since we have public interest, but it has to do with viewing. It has to do with programming. So I don't know, but we need to look at it again.
Yeah,
For me.
Mr. Chairman,
I share the same views, except for redrafting.
Yeah, for the drafting I'm talking
In this
about.
case,
This one is different.
We can take out the public interest and redraft it to read those. The application provides access to plurality of views and variety of programming.
I think that one is perfect.
We leave out that public interest.
That's
We
a
cannot
good-
define it.
That's a good
Yes.
rendition.
Thank you very much.
That's an acceptable rendition.
So, yes, thank you.
So it will read, the application provides
access. And then the rest go.
Provides
access to plurality of views, etc.
and variety of programming.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
Okay. Now, we've got to 27.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on 27, it is the recommendation of the committee that clause 27, sub-clause 3 be amended to read, the procedure for the renewal of a license shall be with the Commission's regulatory requirements.
The what?
The procedure for the renewal of a license shall be with the Commission's regulatory requirements.
What does that mean? The procedure for the renewal of a license shall be with, in accordance.
Yes, in accordance. Yes, in accordance, Mr. Chairman. That is appropriate. Mr. Minister is very interested in what is happening. Shall be in accordance with.
Okay, any dissenting voice on that one? I see none. So we shall proceed.
We are on clause 28. It's our recommendation that clause 28 be approved. Section clause 28 be approved. Clause 28, it reads, a person or media institution aggrieved by the refusal of the Commission to grant or renew a license under this Act may appeal to the High Court within 30 days of the refusal, and the High Court shall, within 30 days of receipt of the application, make a decision thereon. So we are saying that will be approved.
Very well. Very well. 29, page 23.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sure we agreed, or the leader of government business suggested at some point that maybe on clause 27, they will look at the issue I brought up about the renewal and what we have expunged on 25(3)(c).
Fine. Whilst he's dealing with that, we will proceed with newspapers. Now, it was earlier agreed that newsletter should be deleted.
Exactly.
Does that go for this heading as well?
Yes. Newspapers and magazines, not newsletters.
So B now reads newspapers and magazines. So, clause 29.
29(1). Delete newsletter as well. 29(1).
Yeah, that's a side note. We delete that.
Clause 29 be amended as follows. A subclause 1 be amended to read, a person or media institution who publish a newspaper or magazine shall apply to the Commission for registration of the newspaper or magazine. In the bill, it read, a person or media institution who wishes to publish a newspaper, magazine, or newsletter shall apply to the Commission for registration of the newspaper or magazine. So what we did, we omitted the word newsletter and readjusted the wordings there. More like the same content.
Okay.
Clause 29, subclause 2, by inserting a new paragraph C to read, has a registered business as a sole proprietor. Sub 29, subclause 2 in the bill read, subject to this act, a person or a media institution shall not be eligible to apply for the registration of a newspaper, magazine, or newsletter under subsection 1 unless he, A, is a body corporate registered under the Companies Act 2009, Act number 5 of 2009, or B, a partnership registered under the Partnership Act 1890. So we are adding C now, which we read. We are adding C, which we read, has a registered business as a sole proprietor. So the new C will read, has a registered business as a sole proprietor.
Any objection to that? I see none.
The newsletter.
The newsletter component. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
the newsletter component goes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then the next one.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before we go to the next one, I want to bring you in this again, what we've just done, which says 29 to subject to this act, a person or media institution shall not be eligible to apply for the registration of a newspaper, magazine, or, unless he is. So we might want, maybe, remove the word is, because if we say unless he is a registered or...
Where? Which clause?
We are still on 29 subclause 2 because we are bringing in a subclause, a subparagraph 3 to say has a registered business as a sole proprietor. So after the word unless he has, so the word is must go. After the word unless he. Yes, then A, we also...
Unless what?
Unless he is, that is what is in the bill.
Yes.
So unless he is, A says a body corporate registered under the Companies Act.
Okay.
So B says he is a partnership registered under the partnership deed. But we are adding a new subparagraph to say has a registered business as a sole proprietor. So the word is what we are contending with.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think all what we need to do here is to remove the has
That is
and
correct.
leave it with A.
That is correct.
And also, Mr. Chairman, also we should also...
No, I'm not giving you the floor.
Let us... The word he.
I have not given you the floor.
He or she.
Mr. Honorable. You appear to be very ebullient. Honorable Jallo, what happened during the break?
Nothing, sir. I went to my leader and just had a lunch with him. Nothing happened, sir. It's just that I'm so passionate in I'm so passionate in the debates, Mr. Chairman. I've just had the chairman reading, emphasizing on he, while we are democratically trying to promote gender balance. Because we may have a situation wherein we may have a female who wants to establish her own business. So let us do he or she instead of just he. Please, that's all I'm appealing. He or she, please. He, she. He, she.
Mr. Chairman, noted, but I think I have to take him outside for another quick lunch so that we can cool the atmosphere.
I think that will help.
Yeah.
The fuller committee should go on quickly.
Yeah. I hope he has not been keeping company with backups.
Fuller committee chairman should be together immediately.
Mr. Chairman, I think the draftman has given us something to work with now for that, so that we just get done with it. Mr. Chairman,
no, we're going to rectify. Yeah, let's have a rendition of it.
Yes, the draftman has drafted. The Commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F of subsection 3, order that the applicant pay 20% of the application fee levied by the Commission after 1 month extension from the expiration of a valid license. So it's registration fee.
After 1 month.
Yes, let me try to...
Written notice.
Yes, the Commission shall, Mr. Yansane, let's follow. The Commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F of subsection 3, order that the applicant pay 20% of the registration fee
No, it is not renewal, it's fee. Of the registration fee.
Of the registration fee. 20% of the registration fee.
Mm-hmm. Allow the chairman, please. Go ahead.
20% of the registration fee levied by the Commission after 1 month extension for the renewal from the expiration of a valid license.
I think we understand the spirit of it. Yes, yes. Okay. In the meantime, let's proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we are on
subclause 3, B3AA.
'29 subclause 3.
You mentioned, yes. Is the date.
Subclause 3 be amended in
the year.
Subclause 3 be amended in paragraph B, Roman figure 3AA, by deleting the year 2001 and replacing it with 2002.
Okay.
Subclause 4, paragraph B, be amended by deleting 60 days and replacing it with 1 month. Clause 5 be amended.
1 month or 30 days? What do you want?
We did say 1 month in the committee.
1 calendar month?
That was a...
Is it not safer to talk in days?
we can put it in days, Mr. Chair.
30 days.
30 days. So, Yansana, change 1 month to 30 days. No, when you say working days now, then it goes beyond the 1 month. Because 22 working days is like, we have 22 working days in a month. So let's say 30 days. 30 days.
Chair, excuse me. Where are they reading?
Go on. 5.
Clause 5 be amended to read, a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction for a fine not less than 15 million leones and not more than 30 million leones. That clause 30 and 31 be approved. That clause 30 and 31 be approved. Clause 30 reads, the Commission shall not register a newspaper or magazine A that has A, the same name as an existing newspaper, magazine, B, a name closely resembling that of an existing newspaper or magazine. I don't think that is contentious because they don't want you to go taking some other person's own name and conflict the tax payment. 31 reads, the Commission shall, where it is satisfied that an application under subsection 1 of section 29 has complied with all the registration requirements, A, approve the registration subject to such conditions as may be specified, and B, issue a certificate of registration to the applicant. 2.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'm confused a little. This subsection 4, 1A and B, is a requirement to be fulfilled by the Commission. And then subsection 5 gives penalty for failing to honor that requirement. It creates an offense there. So I wonder, the offense created under subsection 5 is committed by whom? Because it made reference to subsection 1, which covers A and B. And that one requires the Commission to do something, not media practitioners. I will read it for clarity. Subsection 4, the Commission shall, on receipt of the application under subsection 1, acknowledge receipt of the application within 5 working days and inform the applicant in writing of this decision in not more than 30 days, which we have amended now. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense. So which subsection 1? Subsection 1 of this?
Mr. Chairman, I think...
Okay. It's clear.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
No, it's not clear also. No, not on the clause, but for the money they have levied. But because here you are talking about statutory instrument for the fine. Why do you decide to give us a fine within the range bracket 15 to 30 million? Why not leave it to the statutory instrument that will be given to us? Why do you decide to have a prescribed fee?
But you did a similar thing earlier.
Consistency, uniformity.
You did something very similar.
No, but that did not talk about the statute. If you let's go back to 5. 5.
Yeah.
A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine as the Commission may by statutory instrument prescribed.
No.
So we amended it.
Yeah, okay. Change it. So let's compare uniformity, we'll go back to 30 to 60 million. So he already 15, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so yes. 30. Okay, noted, sir.
So where are we now? 30. 30 and 31, you say should be approved.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So we are on clause 32. Mr. Chairman, let me look at 31 again. Let me read 31 in extensio. Let me read 31 in extensio. The Commission shall, where it is satisfied that an application under subsection 1 of section 29 has complied with all the registration requirements, A, approve the registration subject to such conditions as may be specified, and B, issue a certificate of registration to the applicant. 2, the application under subsection 1 of section 29 shall not be granted by the Commission unless the Commission is satisfied that A, the particulars contained in the application are correct and sufficient, and B, the application fee has been paid. 3, the Commission may, in approving an application under subsection 1, specify conditions to which the approval is subject, including the requirements that A, the proprietor of the newspaper magazine shall, 1, pay the Commission for the duration of the registrations such fees as may be determined by the Commission. 2, maintain the standard of performance determined by the Commission. 3, provide the Commission in a manner and such time as may be reasonably required document. Mr. Chairman, this is what we would want to get rid of, because we have already got rid of it as recommended by the leader of government business under electronic media, so that there will be fair play. If you delete it under electronic media, it is but fair that you delete it on the other hand, because they are but the same wording, same purpose.
Is that agreed?
Mr. Chairman, the leader was trying to guide this House as to the last fines we discussed. We agreed in the committee 15 to 30. But he is saying for consistency, we had agreed in this House for 30 to 60. So if these people are getting 15 to 30, whilst others have been fined 30 to 60, there is some gap there.
It's different too. One is electronic, the other this is newspapers now.
So, Mr. Leader.
But, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Two different scenarios. One is an infraction committed by practitioners in the course of their duties, legitimate duties, registered and properly fitted. The other is somebody broadcasting or doing business illegally without a current and valid license. That's the difference.
The one naturally can be higher than
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We recommend that, as chairman, I recommend that under 31(3), paragraph A, Roman figure 3 be deleted. Yansane, are you there?
Yes, we've done that. Go ahead.
Grateful. We come to clause 32 be amended by correcting the spelling of the word satisfy to satisfied.
Yes.
Clause 33, subclause 3 be amended in paragraph C by deleting the words where it and replacing with the word where it. One is W-E-R-E-I-T-S. The correction is W-H-E-R-E followed by the word I-T. Clause 34, subclause 3 be amended to read the procedure for the renewal of a license shall be in accordance, just like the other one we just amended in the committee here, in accordance with the Commission's regulatory requirements.
Very well.
That clause 35 be approved. I will read clause 35 for the House. Clause 35 reads, a person or media institution aggrieved by the refusal of the Commission to grant or renew his registration under this Act may appeal to the High Court within 30 days of the refusal and the High Court shall, within 30 days of receipt of the appeal, make a decision thereon. Going further, we said, Clause 36 be amended by inserting the words or sole proprietorship immediately after the words partnership. Clause 36 be amended by inserting the word or sole proprietorship immediately after the words partnership. So clause 36 in the bill reads, where there is a change in the management of a magazine newspaper, the new management shall submit to the commissioner the name, permanent address, and other particulars of the chief executive, managing director, or other managing or operating officer or officers of the company, partnership, or sole proprietorship in such a form as specified in the second schedule. So all we added was sole proprietorship to reflect what we had done earlier. Clause 37 be amended as follows. A, subclause 1 by inserting the words okay. B, subclause 2 be amended to read, a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction for a fine not less than 15 million leones and not more than 30 million leones. Clause 38 be amended as follows. Subclause 1 by inserting the following words at the end of the sentence, in the case of a partnership or sole proprietorship.
Go back to 37.
37 be amended as follows. Subclause 1 by inserting the word or sole proprietorship immediately after the word partnership.
Okay.
May I proceed with 38, Mr. Chairman? Clause 38 be amended as follows. Subclause 1 by inserting the following words at the end of the sentence, in the case of a partnership or sole proprietorship, the managing partner or sole proprietor. B, subclause 2 be amended to read, the signed copies of every newspaper or magazine delivered to the Commission under subsection 1 shall be submitted on the day of publication and shall be filed and kept by the Commission. So when you look at 38B, when you look at 38(3), it says an editor and publisher of a newspaper, magazine,
Delete newsletter.
Who contravenes subsection 1 commits. Yes. So we are saying subclause 3. Subclause 3 be amended to read, an editor and publisher of a newspaper or magazine who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable to a fine not less than 3 million leones and not more than 5 million leones. So here we gave a lesser fine. So, Mr. Chairman, if we are in tandem, that's the end of. You have an issue?
No, we need to. The leader suggested something, so we need to go back to clause 27.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, are you with me? Hello. What's my camera?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. You know, there was an amendment on clause 25. We expunged paragraph C. And the leader of government business, in agreement with the honorable leader of the opposition, consented that we include a clause similar to that of paragraph C on the renewal of licenses. So I have come up with this, that after subclause 2, we have a new subclause 3 that reads, an application made under subsection 2 shall be supported with a proper audited
Subsection 2 of what?
Subclause 2 of 27. We are still on clause 27, sir.
27?
Yes, clause 27.
You taking us right back?
No, sir, we agreed. He said we should go ahead with the other clauses.
Yeah,
it
was an amendment that you told us to do.
Okay, yes.
We agreed.
Yes, I recall.
Okay, thank you, sir. Give the speaker tea. No problem. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So we have a new clause 3. And it reads as follows. An application made under subsection 2 shall be supported with a proper audited financial statement. For renewal, yes, sir.
Is a new one?
Yes, sir. So, yes. So 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 5, and 5 becomes 6. Thank you.
Okay.
No.
So there is a new provision. Read it again so people will take it down.
So the new clause 3 is an application made under subsection 2 shall be supported with a proper audited financial statement.
All right.
No, yes, Mr. Chairman, please.
Yes.
I fail to see the rationale behind requiring them to give them an audited financial report. So he is more or less taking us back to where he had wanted us to go initially, Mr. Chairman, please.
Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Lawyer Bar. Mr. Chairman, I agree with Honorable Lawyer Bar. Mr. Chairman, we won't want to make this exercise too onerous for the media practitioners. Mr. Chairman, if you make it too onerous, there are certain professionals, when you go for their services, they charge you more than your annual income. Let's don't get them in a roundabout manner. Mr. Chairman, it is my submission as Chairman Legislative Committee that I haven't deleted paragraph C, we leave it as it is.
Mr. Chairman, it is not just concurring with the chairman, but he cannot take us back to where he wants us to. We have agreed, based on the report, that the renewal will be done pursuant to the procedures which the Commission's regulatory requirements will stipulate. So we are just contradicting ourselves.
Mr. Chairman.
I want to come to his aid. When he brought up the idea, the speaker said we should do it on a renewal. He was giving to go ahead to do the renewal. So that's what he has done. He has done nothing wrong.
Better luck next
so,
time.
Tawa, don't worry about it. You have just fulfilled your assignment. You are giving an assignment.
Exactly, sir. I'm just a messenger.
Yeah, you're just a messenger.
Mr. Chairman, I know you will be soon putting the question. The draftsman just gave me a completed draft now for what we are to insert under 25(3) after G, or a new 4. He just gave me a completed draft.
Read it out, please.
It reads, the Commission shall, where the applicant is in breach of paragraph F of subsection 3, order by notice in writing that the applicant pay 20% of the application fee after 1 month extension from the expiration of a valid license.
Does that meet the concurrence of the entire House?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
There is no dissenting voice here.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Very well.
So I will give the draft now.
Good. Yansane.
Yansane.
Yansane. You've got the copy. I've been taking down copious notes, Yansane. 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 I've been taking notes myself. Mr. Minister.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that part 4, 5, and 6, clauses 17 to 38 stand part of the bill.
As amended.
As amended.
Honorable members, the question is that parts 4, 5, and 6, clauses 17 to 38 stand part of the bill as amended. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Parts 4, 5, and 6, clauses 17. Parts 4, 5, and 6, clauses 17 to 38 form part of the bill as amended. Parts 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44 stand part of the bill.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that parts 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44 stand part of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that parts 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44 stand part of the bill. Mr. Chairman, take us through quickly.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, it is the recommendation of the committee that clause 39 be amended on the proviso to read as follows: unless that person is a media practitioner. 2, clause 40 be amended as follows: subclause 1 by...
No, wait a minute, where?
We are under 39.
Yeah.
39 reads, a person or media institution shall not employ or otherwise engage a person as an editor or station manager in the business of A, radio, television, or digital satellite television broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
B,
where does the unless come?
After B.
Mm-hmm.
After B, that's what we interpreted to be a proviso.
Okay.
Unless the person is registered as an editor or station manager with the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists or its affiliates. That is why we recommended for an amendment to read, unless that person is a media practitioner. Unless the person is a media practitioner. Two,
you getting rid of the registration?
well, we got rid of registered, unless that person is registered as an editor or station manager with the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists or its affiliates. Mr. Speaker, I might give you the rationale. We said, and the opposition leader was there, we argued extensively, you don't have to coerce people to be part of an organization before they could practice what they know, what they are seized of as far as knowledge is concerned. So long as you are a media practitioner, I think you are qualified for certain employment. If you have the qualification, you are seized of the knowledge, you don't need to be part of a particular organization before you can gain employment. For example, you don't need to be part of the Sierra Leone Bar Association for you to be employed by the House of Parliament as a legal advisor. Well, this is where we are. This is where we are. Mr. Chairman, honorable members.
40.
It is our recommendation that clause 40 be amended as follows. Subclause 1 by spacing the words otherwise engaged to read otherwise engaged. Subclause 1 paragraph B amended to read has obtained a diploma in journalism, mass communication or media studies or a university degree from a recognized institution. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this is very important. On this issue, we, the members of Parliament, decided to actually eliminate the input of all our guests that we invited. So we took charge of the committee and took this decision. The reason is, by this amendment, we are trying to elevate the status of journalism to that of a profession that will compete with other professions like law, medicine, and engineering. And if we are to have them do that, there must be qualification, academic qualification attached for certain sensitive positions or offices that they must be vying for or aspiring for. So as a result of that, because the study of mass media, journalism, and mass communication is a specialized area, we limited it to a diploma qualification for those offices. But if you have another discipline, let's say you read English, you read history, you come in with a university degree from a recognized institution. It was a contentious issue on the media before we sat, so we decided to actually deal with it holistically and make sure we do justice to it, and I'm sure the committee did just that.
Did you make any provision for a penalty?
No. We can do that now. If it is the...
Regulations, sir, not here. It should be under regulations. Yeah, let's be under regulations. Mr. Speaker, please. You know they have to make regulations.
Yeah, but why didn't we take all the other penalties?
Because they are different. They are talking about licenses. So this one is different. This, you have just flouted, for example, unemployment qualifications that you are supposed to do. So this one has to do with the regulation because it will spell out the areas, what you can do. They can take care of that one. But the ones that you are levied has directly to do license.
And Mr. Chairman, the reason why I take your recommendation very serious because it might as well amount to impersonation. Let's say you go for an interview, you don't have the requisite qualification, you don't have the diploma, you don't have the university degree, but you hold yourself out as though you do have it, and yet you are employed in that capacity. Yes, you are employed in that capacity. There must be some sanctions for that. In the legal profession, if you hold yourself out as a lawyer, under Section 21 of the Legal Practitioners Act, you are charged for impersonation. We just convicted somebody for 1 year for impersonating last week. So
Mr. Chairman.
We want the journalists to take this very serious.
Mr. Chairman.
As we have loads of impersonators.
I see the chairman for the legislative committee who is also coming from a sacred profession wherein there is no law in their Legal Practitioners Act that debar people from acting as imposters. I have seen several people being apprehended and taken to court. Let me finish.
I beg to differ. No, you are trying to malign my profession.
I am not maligning your profession.
No,
I am trying to say you want to place the penalty. You want to place the penalty on journalism.
Yes,
for I don't assume impersonation.
Yes, I don't want to correct you.
There is no penalty in their act.
I just want to correct you that Section 21 of the Legal Practitioners Act make it an offense if you practice the profession of law when you don't have the requisite qualification. They just convicted somebody for 1 year last year. So the Legal Practitioners Act captured it.
Why do you want to put penalty in the act? It's not
and Mr. Chairman, ours even places a penalty if you share even your fees with somebody who is a non-lawyer in the form of a commission. This is a profession. I mean, I am not pushing for it to be so criminalized, but if we have to protect them and have to get rid of impersonators, impostors, then we have to start thinking around issues like that. We might not have another opportunity in 5 years to bring such a bill here. We might not, so we have to tighten all the screws.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I think this provision is requiring the employer. It's a guidance for employer, not for employee. This particular provision, 40, subsection 1, is a guidance for employers. You shall not employ somebody without those requirements. And employers, you employ quality people for quality service. If someone impersonates and misrepresents as if he has such qualification, and later you find out that that person doesn't have such qualification, you can take the necessary actions against him. But for an employer, you employ for quality service. So for me, I see no reason for any penalty for an employer. Because you employ for quality service. And you have to screen your staff. Yes. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no need here for penalty. Because it's a done deal. It's clear that for you have to employ based on your own quality service, and you employ quality people for your quality service. So I see no need for any penalty for failing to employ quality people for your own quality service, because you want better service and better marketability. For those who misrepresent to you as having those qualifications and they don't have, if discovered later, there are separate laws for that.
Honorable Tower, do you want the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I just want to clarify what the legal luminary said on Section 21 of the Legal Practitioners Act. 21.
It is not before us.
No, he's saying there is a penalty.
It is not before
There
us.
is no penalty, by the way.
It is not
it
before
says
us.
You are liable on conviction.
Honorable Tower, it is not before us.
So for me, Mr. Chairman.
Restrict your observations to what is before you now.
Mr. Chairman, I see. All right. You see, that's the reason I asked that we take this one under the regulations.
Okay.
I think Mr. Minister will support me on that. Because of this has to do with the employee, not the employer.
Very well, very well. Let's proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, honorable members.
Yes. 41.
It was our recommendation and
441. I want to ask question 42 for best practice. I've not seen my amended version given to me. No, 40 subsection 2. We have subsection 1 shall not apply to persons who, before the commencement of this act, has had 10 years experience as editor or station manager in media institution registered under this act. I just want us to leave it at media institution. No, I don't have a problem with the 10 years. If you have somebody coming from New York Times, apply to be an editor for Global Times or WIO newspaper, I don't think we have a problem if he has not subscribed to this act or, yeah, I mean, you don't, you don't debar them for not taking the position for being an editor. But global standard, international best practice, you leave them. You have freelance writers. Mr. Minister, I think you should know properly because you're a journalist. I know, yeah, please, Mr. Let us just leave like that. Just remove the register under this act. No. Hey, you see, what we are failing to do, we don't want to take the work of the regulators in terms of leaving nothing in rooms for making regulations for this particular bill. So let's leave room for regulations. This will take care of the regulations. So let it leave like that. Remove the register under this act. That is my submission. Mr. Minister, can I have from you, sir?
No, I think it makes sense.
That's a fair point.
Especially when somebody
that's a fair point.
to be an editor
That's a fair point.
for newspaper from New York Times.
It makes sense.
That's
what we are saying.
Mr. Leader. That's quite true.
Mr. Leader, Mr. Minister, just sit down. Mr. Leader, we are here to support your points, not to oppose you. It makes sense. For you to have 10 years experience as a media practitioner in a media institution, it can be anywhere. Okay, fine.
I support you on this. I support you. I support you on this one.
Who determines the petition?
No, let's just say, no, media, no, don't put any adjective, please.
In a media institution.
In media institution, thank you.
Not necessarily registered under this act. It may not be registered under this act, but it's still a media institution.
Mr. Chairman, take us through, please.
Chairman, honorable members, it is our recommendation that clause 41, subclause 2, paragraph B be amended to read, newspaper and magazine registered with the Commission. 2, that clause 42 be approved. Clause 42 reads, a person who owns or operates a media institution in Sierra Leone immediately before the coming into force of this act and who intends to continue shall, subject to this act within 6 months from the date of the coming into operation of this act, apply to the Commission for the grant of a license or a registration certificate. 3. Clause 43 be amended to read, the minister may by statutory instrument after consultation with the Commission and the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists make regulations for giving effect to this act. Clause 43 in the bill reads, the Commission may by statutory instrument. So we substituted the Commission for the minister, for it is within the minister's domain. That is why we amended that one. Clause 44 be approved. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, that is how far I can go in taking you through, for that's the end of. Don't say the Allah finance.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that Part 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44, stand part of the bill as amended.
Honorable members, the question is that parts 7 and 8, order. The question is that parts 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44, stand part of the bill as amended. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Part 7 and 8, clauses 39 to 44, form part of the bill as amended. The House resumes. Yes? The House resumes. I call on the minister to report on the bill.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I report that the bill entitled the Independent Media Commission Act 2020, having gone through the Committee of the Whole House with amendments, I now move that the bill be read the third time and passed into law.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill entitled the Independent Media Commission Act 2020, as amended, be read a third time and passed into law. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The bill entitled the Independent Media Commission Act 2020, being an act to provide for the continuation of the Independent Media Commission, to provide for the registration and regulation of mass media institutions in Sierra Leone, licensing of institutions engaged in radio, television, or direct-to-home digital satellite services, broadcasting and registration of persons and institutions engaged in the publication of newspapers and magazines in Sierra Leone, and to provide for other related matters, has been read a third time and passed into law.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, we are now coming to a historic moment. We want to take 5 minutes break. Retire.
Mr. Leader, before you stand or whatever, I want to, Mr. Speaker, I just want to bring something to your notice.
Don't just take a break.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Committee on Legislative Committee. They've done so very well. They were here because I was part of the committee till 8 p.m. It was not really easy for them. And sometimes I want to call on you and the leaders, especially the leader of government business, and you again, the leader of the opposition. I know you are a member, but I want to lobby and appeal for you. It was very, I know you are an ordinary member. It's not a bribe, Mr. Speaker, but we need what we call better condition for the committee members, Mr. Speaker. It is very, very... Yes, because this committee helps us to learn more as members of parliament. We are here to make laws, not just laws, but laws that will be able to defend outside this particular way. So with this committee, especially with the involvement of the leaders for this particular act, I want to be very grateful to them. We were able to learn. We were able to learn, and thank you to you. We want to say thank you to my brothers, my slight brothers and sisters, and to the minister. Thank you very much. I am pleased today. But please consider my plea, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, please.
A break has been requested, which I definitely will not approve of. Let's move on.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
What?
Mr. Speaker.
What? No break.
No break.
You want to go break?
Bill.
No break.
Okay, all right. Let's proceed.
Bill, the Public Order Amendments Act 2020, committee stage and third reading. The Minister of Information and Communication. I call on the Chairman Legislative Committee to present the report.
The House will
committee stage. The House resolves into committee.
Cover the names, please. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I feel gratified, elated to present a bill entitled Second Report for the Legislative Committee, third session of the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone on the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020, presented to Parliament on Thursday, 23rd July 2020.
Mr. Chairman, that's obstruction. I want to give the chairman the latitude to go over the statement again. We are entreated by go over that statement. This is a historic moment, Mr. You are going to be very careful. This is a historic moment. Mr. Chairman, go over the statement again. Yeah, I'm going to endorse my power to you.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I feel elated, honored to be serving as Chairman Legislative Committee and to stand here this afternoon to present the legislative report on the bill entitled Second. The linguist on the bill entitled the second report of the Legislative Committee third session of the 5th Parliament
Is that a
of
new
the
word?
Second Republic.
Is that a new word?
Mr. Speaker, in law we don't say entitled. In law we say entitled. That is the caption of an action. When you say the caption of an action, you say entitled. It's different from the way the ordinary linguist pronounces it. Yes, my senior in practice is right there. And my other colleague, the Right Honorable Secretary, is right here. And me being a lawyer and being opportune to present this bill, I must bring in the legal jargon. Entitled. Entitled. It is entitled. Entitled. Yes. It is historic that for 70% of us here, we are about to deliberate at the committee stage on a committee report of a bill that is older than us. It is really historic, very historic, and it's a manifesto promise.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I rise to present a bill entitled Second Report of the Legislative Committee, Third Session of the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone on the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020, presented to Parliament on Thursday, 23rd July 2020. Introduction. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I rise to present the second report of the Legislative Committee, third session of the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone on the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020, being an act to amend the Public Order Act 1965, Act number 46 of 1965, by repealing Part 5, which deals with the defamatory and seditious libel. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the bill having gone through the second reading was committed to the Legislative Committee for scrutiny pursuant to Standing Order 51, Sub-Rule 1. Subsequently, the committee met on Monday, 20th July 2020 in Committee Room Number 1, Parliament Building, with the following objectives. 1, to scrutinize the detailed provisions of the legislative proposals after the second reading in the House. 2, to ascertain the constitutional and legal implications contained therein. And 3, to report to Parliament in accordance with the provisions of the standing orders of this Honorable House. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, in attendance we have the Minister of Information and Communication, Commissioners of the Independent Media Commission, officials of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and Parliamentary Council, who made meaningful contributions. Recommendation. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the committee has scrutinized the bill line by line and clause by clause, recommends the following amendments to the House for approval. 1, the short title of the bill be approved. 2, the long title of the bill be amended by deleting the word "and other related matters." 3, that clause 1 and 2, bracket open, amendment of Part 5 of Act number 46 of 1965 and amendment of Part 6 and 7 and sections 38 to 46 of Act number 46 of 1965, bracket close, respectively, be approved. Conclusion. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the Legislative Committee, having scrutinized the bill entitled The Public Order Amendment Act 2020 recommends these proposals to the House for approval. The report reflects the consensus of honorable members of the committee. I therefore move that the Honorable House pass the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020 through committee stage, third reading, and into law. I thank you for your attention. Signed, Honorable Indolo Mweo Gevao, Chairman, Legislative Committee. Yes, sir.
Clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill.
So, from the debate, Mr. Chairman, I don't know what is going to be velocity. Is it going to be 500 kilometers per hour or 1,000 kilometers per hour? So, I'm coming. Mr. Chairman, from the debate, we had no objection to the repeal. So, for the respect and for the hard work of the committee, I would like you to give them the opportunity to address the House. After that, we'll have the leader for NSC4C. After that, we have the leader for the opposition to address the House. And ECOWAS Speaker, because he started the whole business, and the Deputy Speaker, and now we do the finished product. So that is just my submission to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to invite the Honorable Emerson Lamina to come. Honorable members, we are about to embark. on a very historic journey. But before we do, it is my duty that I bring to the attention of the entire House a very unfortunate incident that has occurred and affecting one of our illustrious members. The Honorable Rebecca Kamara, Member of Parliament from Connaught District. Who was involved in an accident, a very gruesome one. Was it yesterday? The day before yesterday. And I regret to inform the House that she sustained very severe injuries from which she is presently recovering. I'm gratified to inform the House that my younger brother, Dr. Ibrahim Bundu, is attending to her. And she's presently undergoing some examination, including a CT scan. And that was the main reason why she was brought down to Freetown, because that facility is not available in Connaught. But I understand from the medical doctors attending to her that she's doing well. She's doing well. And in time, we wish her a very speedy and full recovery. I'm sure you'll all want to join me in praying to Allah, God Almighty, to help her recover fully and retake her rightful place in this august body, the legislature of Sierra Leone. We wish her well. I will implore all of us, when the doctors allow, to pay her visits, not just one visit, because it will be most encouraging if she's able to see as many of her colleagues in this House as possible. That will in fact help the recovery process, as you know. So this is the sad news that I have to convey. I'm doing so now because I can anticipate what's going to happen at the end of our deliberations this evening. So I'm interrupting it now to bring this news. Otherwise, I would not have the opportunity to do so. So on behalf of the entire House, we wish Honorable Rebecca Kamara a full and speedy recovery. I don't know whether the Honorable Emerson Lamina would like to say a word or two as leader of the C4C.
You have given a comprehensive report. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I
I want to toe the line by reading the notice paper now because I also anticipate the mood that is going to be very chaotic after the repeal. So I want to take this time to read the internal notice paper. Okay. No, I'm just stimulating you. Internal notice paper. Bills. This one will come tomorrow. Supplementary Appropriation Act 2020. Introduction and first reading. The Minister of Finance. Second reading. Committee stage and third reading. Minister of Finance. This one will come with some stimulus, don't worry. 2. The Consumer Protection Act 2020. Second reading. Committee stage and third reading. The Minister of Trade and Industry. 2. The Cyber Act 2020. The Cyber Bill, 2020. Introduction and first reading. The Minister of Information and Communications. 2. Ratification of government motion. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Be it resolved that this Honorable House hereby ratifies the foreign agreement which was laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 23rd July 2020. 2. Agreement between the government of Sierra Leone, of Rwanda, and the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone on the exemption on visa requirements for holders of diplomatic and service passports. General cooperation agreement between the government of the Republic of Rwanda and government of the Republic of Sierra Leone. 3. General cooperation agreement between the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone and the government of the Republic of Uganda for the establishment of a permanent commission for cooperation. 4. Memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Sierra Leone on political consultations. 5. Memorandum of understanding between the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone and the government of the Republic of Uganda on political consultation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Leader of government business, we shall restrict the debate to the leadership of the parties represented. No comments, because there is absolutely nothing. Starting with the acting leader of NGC, followed by C4C, the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, the Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker.
My deputy, well, my deputy will speak after the ECOWAS Speaker, and then the Leader of the Opposition, and the last speaker will be the Leader of Government.
Mr. Chairman, I think I told you about the chairman of the legislative committee to make a statement because he has done a very good job for us.
Well, let him kickstart the process.
Yes, he will start for us.
I won't be long. Mr. Chairman, colleagues, members of Parliament, I want all of us, for our democracy, to consider this moment as a solemn moment. Whatever statements we make, to detach personal political praises from it. I'll be praising people because they ought to be praised. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this moment has taken so long to come. Every Sierra Leonean that has played or that has been on the stage might have played his own part. Starting from 1967 down to 2020, every leader would have played his own part. In the few minutes that I have, I will want to lend my gratitude to His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, his predecessors would have done their own. But today we have seen a completion of a political commitment. And this is good for our democracy. Those who are not as fortunate as we are, who are not as educated as we are, still hold the view that we politicians, we make vague promises just for us to get them to vote for us. And it is not easy to get votes. Times there are when we want votes, we talk as politicians. But for you to be a good and true politician, you must be able to make promises and make good those promises to members of the public. That is exactly what the retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio had done to our democracy in this instance. He made a manifesto promise that if he were to win, he will work assiduously in the interest of the public to ensure that Part 5 of the Public Order Act is repealed. Even though he's one of those who would have suffered the most in the hands of those who knows how to push their pens better, he did not renege upon that promise. True to his word, with an able Minister of Communication, who himself is an orator and somebody who can convince his peers, they were able to convince their colleague cabinet ministers to get these papers through cabinet and today through Parliament. I want to say thanks to them. I want to say that the generation that I belong to, the generation that my children belongs to, will not forget you people in haste. I am about to shed tears because as a lawyer, I have been privileged to see journalist labor colleague, let us have this solemn. It is important. As a lawyer, I have seen journalist labor under this law. I was very young at the bar when I had the opportunity to defend Dr. Sylvia Blyden at the magistrate court for an offense committed under this law in the year 2010. I can still imagine how she was shivering, telling the now Attorney General, Mr. Brewer, SO2, we are not going inside. Na Panema Road at the go so. I can still remember how terrified she was. I can still remember seeing a journalist like Philip Neville. I was the one who brought Philip Neville to court before the now Judge Justice Manuela Harding, then magistrate, for an offense under this law for a publication under the then finance director. I know how uncomfortable Philip Neville was. Today, in our generation, we have been privileged to see a repeal of a law that several Sierra Leoneans have been laboring under. In my lifetime, I only saw one successful prosecution to conviction. That is the prosecution and conviction of Paul Camara. The rest had been a tool used against journalists. They will call them to the police, they will lock them up, after a few days, charge them to court, and let them go scot-free. Then they would have been punished. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, Please join me on this side, on the whole South, for our democracy, to give a standing ovation to His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, for making this possible in the democracy and history of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. I thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, please.
Mr. Chairman.
Order. I would like to recognize the acting leader of NGC.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, today is indeed a great day in the history of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We should all agree that there is a time for every purpose. For this particular repeal, let us say it is the time that has arrived. For that, we say thanks to His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. It needs courage to do certain things. Past presidents, past governments wanted to repeal this law, but it was not easy. The courage was not there. Perhaps the will was not there. Now, we have had a president who has got the courage to give the go-ahead for this law to be repealed. It's well and good. But for every step taken, repercussions should be taken into consideration. Now today, Sierra Leone, we say, where are we in the hands of our journalists? Are they responsible? How responsible is our fourth estate? All I want to say here is we at the NGC are very grateful to His Excellency the President for having the courage. We are with the government entirely. There is no Sierra Leonean, whatever the circumstance, that will say, no, we should not repeal this law, either to protect oneself or not. I mean, journalists all over the world, the right. If there are people who are not even considered as journalists, like the IMC bill that has just been discussed, for now we have some measures that people have to fulfill before they can be considered as journalists in this country. But before now, it was not very clear. People were just writing. Now, for now, we are glad that they will not just get up and write things, because there are safeguards. It is true. The safeguards may not be enough, but with time, as the leader of the opposition was saying at the committee stage, there will be regulations. The IMC will give regulations. We will not just abandon the country into the hands of pen-happy people. Now, for all I have to say, today we are happy that this has happened, and that we all pray that Sierra Leone benefits from this repeal instead of falling into despair. Because if we see some sort of behavior that was not expected to come because of this act, then we will not be happy. We hope we will not come to that. We hope we will not come to that. Once again, I say I'm asking everybody here to join all other Sierra Leoneans to accept this thing and to thank the president and for this honorable house to ratify this bill and make it a law in this country. Thank you very much.
I thank the honorable member. I now give the floor to the Honorable Emerson Lamina.
General business. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, today is a momentous day and by extension, an epoch-making day for journalists and journalism. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, which means that today, free speech is guaranteed with no backlash of criminalizing charges. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I must confess that present and past presidents have been very, very, very tolerant. Tolerant because when I look at the scenario of Banjul, the Gambia, under Yahya Jammeh, the rapidity of incarceration of journalists, even people coming from the civic society, even musicians, I begin to wonder that Sierra Leone presidents and past presidents have been very, very, very tolerant. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, however, it was the stance of the C4C party that qualifications should not have been legislated, but rather it should have been left with the prerogative of proprietors of radios and newspapers. But with the tremendous respect that I have for the chairman of the legislative committee, I know very well that he did justice to the task. I'm saying this not to promote mediocrity in the field of journalism, but rather expressing the respect that I have for the roles of journalists and the experience that also attached to those roles. I cannot promote mediocrity. After all, I'm not a mediocre in any case. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, equally so, I'm also happy that instead of alternating the chairmanship of IMC with legal practitioners, it is now left in the hands of the journalists to do their own task. I must congratulate each and everyone that actually championed the conch of presidency in Sludge. I still remember having a sharp reminiscence between 2011-12 when I was preparing to run for the first political office. I saw my kinsman, by then president of Sludge, Mr. Omar Fofana, with a bushy beard. I didn't have to ask him, why is that your hair? It's so bushy. See, I'm demonstrating until the repeal of this infamous 1965 act be repealed. Today, I wholly believe that you will love to see this day coming to pass. I must pay tribute to also the president of the press gallery. It is also his repetitive cry that this particular law be repealed. The present president of the press gallery and all presidents that went through that role of the presidency in Sludge. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, it will be very, very difficult if I congratulate and elephant congratulations to the present president by leaving those presidents, his predecessors I'm talking of. They also did their part. But they could not score this goal for journalists and journalism. His Excellency the President, retired brigadier, did campaign that you repeal and bring up the 2020 IMC Act. And this day has seen the light. It has come to pass. I must congratulate him elephantly. Mr. Chairman, we are all happy. We expect more maturity from journalists and journalism. And in a synopsis, Mr. Chairman, what will I say? Today, I will say RIP, infamous 1965 Public Order Act. And congratulations to IMC 2020. I thank you very much.
I thank the honorable member for his contribution. I think this is a convenient moment for us to also give the opportunity to the minister to say a few words. I mean, he has very ably piloted two important bills.
The Right Honorable Speaker.
For the House.
The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, colleagues, I am very, very excited to be standing today at this threshold of history. We have all walked this very long journey. I am thankful from the bottom of my heart for the cross-party support you lend this bill. Thank you very much. God bless you. To His Excellency President Bill, who has given me the opportunity and the space to lead, to champion the repeal of a bill that is far older than me, I could not be more grateful. Thank you so very much. To SLAG and all other bodies, the Independent Media Commission, this has been an extremely long journey tonight. Thank God we have seen the light today. I will, anytime it pleases His Excellency for me to move on to other rooms, I will go with my head up high, very satisfied that many came, they saw, I came, I saw, and I conquered. I thank all of you that we will live in an era under our watch, in our lifetime, where media practitioners will be able to practice their trade without let or hindrance, and an era where for the very first time in living memory, our media practitioners are now going to be entitled to salary and some reservation made for them for a rainy day. I could not have asked for a better opportunity to be at this history-making opportunity. Thank you very much. I could go on and on forever. Thank you.
I thank the Honorable Minister. For his statement. I will now invite my deputy. Oh, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. The Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
One of the inventions that I left behind.
Today, I am very, very happy. I started this process, and today I'm here seeing my successor completing it. I am very, very pleased. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, repealing Part 5, which deals with defamatory and seditious libel law, is a very clear manifestation of His Excellency the President's determination and commitment to see free press in Sierra Leone. He has done it, something that many, many people locally and internationally felt it was not possible. I want to thank His Excellency the President.
for his commitment. I want to thank the Honorable Young Minister who for so many times became frustrated thinking that this was not going to happen. But today, I'm sure he feels very, very, very elated. He feels very, very proud that we are making history in the House of Parliament. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, my appeal is to the private sector. Today, we have removed the barrier to investment in journalism. For us and those people who are business people, journalism is a very lucrative business. And I believe that it is now the time for business people to come in to invest. There are no longer any barriers. Journalists are free to practice their trade, and it is necessary for funds for investment to go into that particular sector. And to you, the journalists, my only appeal is to not let the president down. He has decided to go along with this. He promised you, and he has delivered. It was a campaign promise that most people, especially my friends somewhere else, they didn't believe it. In fact, some of them clearly said, no, that was not possible. But today, we have succeeded. I am therefore calling on you to please, please don't let us down. Please don't let His Excellency down. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
I thank the honorable member for his statement. One of the early pioneers of the appeal process that we are about to finalize today is fortunately with us, and it would be remiss if I did not give him recognition on a day like this. It's not often that we recognize past performance of compatriots. Let this be an exception. The Honorable I.B. Kagbo, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for being so magnanimous. Indeed, you made the point. On many occasions in this country, performance by individuals is quickly forgotten. But I'm happy, satisfied, that we have people like you who can always recognize good work. Mr. Speaker, indeed, you made the point, and everybody has made the point, that today is a historic day. When some of us joined the field of journalism, the day you enter journalism, you are indoctrinated almost immediately about the 1965 Public Order Act. Whoever comes into the field, the first thing, we indoctrinate you. We have a problem. Part 5 of the 1965 Public Order Act. So you grow up with the job, with that thinking, with that hate for that legislation. And this also explains, Mr. Speaker, why President of SLAJ, after President of SLAJ, always worked towards the repeal of this legislation. They may not have succeeded. The young Nasrallah is lucky. But everybody who started, from the days of Sanesga to Desipona, to myself, to everybody, to Frank Busua, everybody tried his best. But the fact is that there is always time. And this is why we have this day today as a historic day. I also want to say thanks, Mr. Speaker, to the minister. Because in governance, for those who have never been to cabinet before, you will know that government policies, by extension, is a cabinet minister. He used to visit. No policy works, Mr. Speaker, if the minister does not continue to remind the president about the government's commitment to members of society. So the president may say, look, I want to remove this. Or they may have advised him to remove it. But you need somebody to support him. And this is why I think that the minister has done a very good job. I also am satisfied to state, Mr. Speaker, that the minister is lucky to have as deputy somebody who was part of the fold, somebody who is part of SLAJ. And therefore, I'm not surprised that the deputy minister, to a large extent, continues to influence Mr. Minister, not to forget government's commitment to the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, you need not be a member of SLAJ or president of SLAJ to have played a role in making sure that we get to this day today. I keep on reminding myself about Safa Abdullah, a young man, a lawyer, who committed himself to the commitments of the state to make sure that we have free speech in this country and a free press. So therefore, we are celebrating today. We should not forget a person like Safa Abdullah. He played a very major role. On several occasions, David Tambayo, myself, and Safa Abdullah traveled to Ghana to discuss with Professor Karikari about the need for us to work towards free speech in this country. And they did support us from Ghana. We went up to the point of the Supreme Court, which was funded by Professor Karikari and his group. Just how people like Safa Abdullah also played a role in this regard. Mr. Speaker, the history of this whole thing that ended today so gloriously is long. But may I state that we tried our best over the years to get to this day. And one thing that is very, very excellent about journalists in this country is that they are one united team. They always work in unison. This is why they got to this point today. So we see no difference between journalist A or journalist B. We are all the same people. In journalism, we have no tribalism. So therefore, we can always get to points like this. The moment they appoint somebody to an important position in this government or outside government, it's my responsibility to guide him. This is how we are brought up. And today is a clear indication. This is the kind of result you get if you people operate as one united team. But Mr. Speaker, as I sit down, let me note that Sir Mesga, blessed memory, should not be forgotten. It's part of the history of this whole exercise. When the whole business of SLAJ was set up, from the word go, we started talking about the repeal of this act. The history of the act itself has been discussed lengthily, Mr. Speaker. The reason why it was established, where it was promulgated, and the difficulties it created along the line. But the important thing is that all of us realized that it was a bad legislation. So, Mr. Speaker, I will not forget, and I would like history to remember, all of us to remember, Sir Mesga. He played a major role, pivotal role, in developing journalism in this country and in participating in the development of journalism. This is why when we are discussing at committee level whether somebody should be a graduate or not a graduate, to be an editor, to become an editor, I thought talked about Samesga, who was just a school certificate holder, but clearly one of the best journalists in West Africa, who edited the paper of Kwame Nkrumah, who worked with Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria, and who was seen by both Nigerians and Ghanaians as the best journalists of their time. And yet in Sierra Leone, we said, you must have a BA or an MA. Not that I'm not a graduate, but the fact of the matter is that sometimes we should think about this thing and look at the history as well. Mr. Speaker, I'll read quickly those people who are part of this whole process. Sam Holist, Sam Short, the three Sams, Desi Bona, Frank Bosoa, Taib Ba, Christo Johnson, Rod Mark Johnson, Philip Neville, Umar Fofana. I'm talking about my own records. Kelvin Lewis, David Tambayo, and the list goes on and on and on. Mr. Speaker, the young Nasrallah holds a very important position in this whole development. Because when we write the history of journalism in this country, it has to be stated that it was during the presidency of Nasrallah that the 1965 Public Order Act was repealed. And he too, when he writes his book, he should note that you also had a support, strong support, from a Minister of Information and Communications. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very happy, satisfied that what we started so many years ago comes to fruition today. And all of us are proud Sudanese. What we do not like in journalism is to divide the House, and we'll never divide the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I'm very satisfied. I'm very happy. We will give support to this whole process. Thank you very much.
I thank the Honorable I.B. Kagbo for his statement. The Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is a great day for not only journalism. This is a great day for a nation called Sierra Leone. As a nation, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we took a long time to reach today. But thank God we are here. So therefore, I urge every Sierra Leonean to have cause to celebrate. Because we have shown as a nation, we have shown ourselves approved. That we are ready as a nation to accept and push the freedoms of our people. But even as we celebrate, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let's not forget to accord credit to those to whom credit is due. Let's not forget that several governments came and they promised and nothing happened. So therefore, let's not forget to celebrate the government of His Excellency the President. President, retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Maravio. It can only take a determined president to reach this stage. It can only take a determined minister and deputy minister to bring us thus far, for which, as a nation, we should be proud. Of course, to the journalists, even if you forget this moment, do not forget our names. Go after today, go tell it on the mountains that it was SFVP that did it. I thank you very much.
A day for celebration indeed. It's now my privilege and honor to ask the leader of the opposition to make a statement.
You know, I'm not just a Muslim, but a very good Muslim. Not an imam, but a very good Muslim. Mr. Speaker, indeed today is a historic day. I heard people saying pull, but that's not why I'm here. I was just taken aback when we were asked to go, maybe through the journalists, to the hills, the mountains, and the valleys to tell the story. But it was concluded by saying that it's the SLPP that did it. I was taken aback because this parliament is the parliament of Sierra Leone. And this parliament is the parliament that is concluding the exercise itself. Without this parliament, the minister would have been here in futility. Without this parliament, Sludge will have fought in futility. But as others have done before me, before I deviate, I also want to join others in thanking His Excellency the President and the Minister and the Minister who has done exactly as the Honorable I.B. Kagbo said, to remind the President as and when necessary, but also going through the arduous task of convincing Cabinet and ensuring that this bill leaves Cabinet to this House. We want to thank you very much, Mr. Minister, yourself and your team. Mr. Speaker, we have said it times over that on this side, we will never politicize issues that comes to this House. Whenever good things are brought to this House, as the records have and will continue to show, we will always support them as we have done again today. We are still going through the SLPP manifesto for 2018. Don't worry. That will be subject for another day. We still have the manifesto. This was one of the lines. The C4C had it, the NGC had it, but as the Speaker said the other day, manifestos are always beautiful. The President has been bold enough to continue with the good work his predecessor started before 2016. It was in this House, I appreciate the Minister so much because he's always been very frank. We are acknowledging Umaru Fofana because we are acknowledging Ahmad Tijan Kaba of what he did by creating the IMC. We are acknowledging Kelvin Lewis because he did a good job while President Koma was in office. We will call things by their names and do them the right way. Mr. Minister, thank you very much. You are a very honest man. It was in this chamber last Thursday when I raised the policy that went through cabinet, which eventually led to the drafting of this bill, which we are about to pass today. It was in 2016. But again, the minister has been speedy and efficient in making sure that things don't start and they fail to complete. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Mr. Speaker, I should also not forget, even though I'm a member of the committee, but to thank the chairman of the Legislative Committee for the time, Mr. Speaker, for the time and patience he put in and accorded all of us during the pre and then the Legislative Committee hearings. No, he did not cry because I spoke to him. Mr. Speaker, on Monday, Honorable Gevao had a very important family assignment. But for national duty, I'm sure that day something happened with him and your wife. Well, I will join to plead for you. But on that day, he almost cried. But then, nation comes first. So again, we want to thank you very much for that sacrifice. I hope colleagues will emulate and will follow that path. When national duty calls, we must pay heed and give it the attention it deserves. Mr. Speaker took only 5 minutes break today. Again, national service. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you have done very well, but I want to thank you for what you have done, sir. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank His Excellency the President, the Minister and his team, those who started before now, and all of us in this chamber. Because we have contributed in our own way. We have contributed, the staff. Well, the Honorable Emerson Lamina mentioned the press gallery. The press gallery is part of Parliament, because we are always together. But in any case, I'll join you in acknowledging their efforts. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, again, Mr. Minister, I thank you very much and hope that moving forward, we'll continue to support each other. Thank you.
I thank the Leader of the Opposition for his statement. I now give the floor to the Leader of Government.
Bukaka Glabra.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, my people, for Bukaka Jama Bulambayama. I know you want to hear that word. Thank you for sending me to represent you. For me, we came, we saw, and we have conquered. We gave rhetoric and put it to reality. Today we are here to give thanks and praises to those who started the journey and those who completed it. I am so happy I'm here today. Mr. Speaker, this is a moment all of us need to celebrate in the interest of unity, freedom, and justice. It is a moment for us to say the truth. In 2012, this president today, 90% of the journalists were against him. He was vilified. He was characterized by all kinds of praises. Characterized as if he is going to do the worst things on earth when he becomes president. Characterized as somebody who is involved in extrajudicial killings. He was mocked. He was cartooned. Today, we are here to write history with him. We are here to write history with him. The history I'm going to write is that as a politician, you should be thick-skinned. You should be thick-skinned. He has taken a moment for us to say thanks to HE, the President of this Republic, for taking this bold step after enough bashing from the media, from 2005 to 2018, today is the President of the Republic. And he said, I am going to repeal with my team. I am going to do it in the interest of Sierra Leone, in the interest of good journalism, in the interest of press freedom. Today we are happy. We are about to announce the obituary announcement of Mr. Public Order Act Part 5. We are happy because we are going to do it in the interest of the members of the First Estate. Because they are the whistleblowers. From the days of IB Kabos, from the days of Mohamed Bangura, from the days of Umaru Fofana, from the days of Kevin Lewis, today we have new theme. But one thing I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, as for me, I did not leave my men behind. Everybody is part of this celebration today. We did not leave anyone behind. Mr. Minister, thank you, because you did not leave your men behind. When I started the journey for the repeal, when I said, I'm going to do the repeal, but I'm going to use the parliamentary procedure to start the process, because I confided in the opposition leader, and he said, do the right thing because we have the Board Declaration. I used the Standing Order 59-2 to withdraw the bill. And I heard from all the media houses. I watched the Star TV, I watched AYV, they were characterizing me. They said posterity will judge me. Today, posterity is judging me. But thanks, I said I did not leave my men behind. Thanks to the leader of the opposition. He came to me, I said, I am going to take interview to save your face. He said, because you have been vilified, I'm going to tell them you do it in the good sense of parliamentary procedure. And he went and had the interview. Today, here we are. Even the minister was discouraged. He called me, Honorable Nyuma, how are we going to do it? I said, believe in the process. Believe in what I'm going to do. Believe in the leadership of Parliament. Believe in the speakership. Believe this process of Parliament. We are young parliamentarians, but we are very honest and sincere in what we do, because posterity has to judge us one by one. We don't believe in too much of rhetoric. The veracity where we are here is to represent our people and to re-echo what they want. We campaign on the platform for the good of the ordinary man in our manifesto. And this same word, repeal of the Public Order, Part 5 of the Public Order Act, in our manifesto, in the APC manifesto, in the NGC manifesto, in the C4C manifesto, and the SFPP manifesto. Today, we are in the driving seat to do this repeal, and we are happy, irrespective of the characterization of our president, calling him all kinds of names. But today, we are going to do the repeal in the interest of good journalism, in the interest of best practice. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we are all victims of bad journalism. We are all victims. But that has not stopped us to drive. That has not stopped us to take our destination to the final point. We say we are going to do the drive. We have started today, we are going to complete in a very few moments. And today, we as honorable members, we have done the honorable thing. We had the whistleblowers, and we have re-echoed their cry through the ministry. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for piloting the bill. And thanks to your president for standing by you to do this repeal. History will judge you that you have done a remarkable thing in your life. And all of us, honorable members, I cannot say more, but to salute you all. Salute all of you. I salute you, my colleagues, for supporting us on this. They said, because this is a young team, a new team, a new day in journalism, a new day in Parliament. We cannot do much, but to ensure and to encourage you to practice best journalism. Mr. Said, the current president of SLAJ, you ride on this for a very, very long time. That you came, you saw, and you conquered. Press gallery. Every day he asks us, when are you going to do the repeal? When are you going to do it? Those questions will come on and on. Well, I remember when I took office, when the speaker made a pronouncement, you asked me those questions. Said, I don't play with people's emotions. I'm a very frank politician. I'm a very true politician, and an open one too. When I was doing this drive to do the repeal with my men, I was able to do consultation right across the house. Not because I'm the best man, but believe that is the best process. I was in full-time consultation with Sludge. Thank very much for their effort. I even told them, bring your objections. They brought in their objection for us to have a good IMCB. And today we are enacted that one. Thank you very much. I salute you, my brothers and sisters. For standing by us. Don't be carried by people who do bad things, but be carried by people who do the good things. Believe in that. Believe in doing good things. Even God will forgive you for what the sins that you have committed. For piloting good things in life. I believe in that. Because so many things have gone under the bridge. And today we are here fighting for sets of people who think they need to have a clear mandate in what they are doing. The private sector, today you can invest in journalism. You can invest in media houses. You can invest in these things because you have the platform now. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. I can't say more, Mr. Speaker, before I take my seat, to say thanks to you. You have been very, very, very helpful to us, for us to pass this bill into law.
Thanks to the Knights of the team.
Legislative Committee, let me end with you. Bravo, my brother. Thank you very much. I cannot say more than that, but to say thanks to you. Because you spent endless days working on these bills. The repeal, the IMC. Thank you very much. Though you are charged a lot of things that came on, but you are able to overcome them. Paupa, Salon for better. Paupa, journalists for do the work. Thank you very much. Thank you, our president. Thank you, the President of the Republic, for doing the right thing. May the Lord bless us all.
I thank the leader of government business, the clerk. Mr. Minister, call the minister to move. We're still at committee stage.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill as amended.
No amendment. Well.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill as read.
It's amended, correct.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Honorable members, the question is that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Parts 1 and 2 form parts of the bill.
as amended. The House resumes. Mr. Minister, please report on the bill.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I report that bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020, having gone through the Committee of the Whole House with amendments, I now move that the bill be read the third time and passed into law.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Honorable members, before I put the question, allow me to say a word or two. Today, this Parliament stands at the threshold of journalism in Sierra Leone, transcending and progressing from being a mere social pastime to a full-fledged, respectable profession. Let's hope and pray that the confidence that the House has reposed in the profession of journalism will not be misplaced, and posterity will remember this day and all of us as a day that is truly historic and momentous. Today, to be precise, a few moments from now, we are going to expunge from our statute books the infamous Part 5 of the Public Order Act 1965. In its place, we have legislated to bring to life a stronger, meaningful, and revitalized independent media commission to protect and safeguard the interest of members of the public. This is what makes the day historic and momentous. It is a milestone for press freedom and a triumph for democracy and the rule of law. A triumph also for the exemplary leadership of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio that will certainly have wide and laudable national and international ramifications. This House today stands tall and has every justification to celebrate. Honorable members, the question is that the bill entitled the Public Order Amendment Act 2020, as amended, be read the third time and passed into law. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Public Order Amendment Act 2020, being an act to amend the Public Order Act 1965, Act number 46 of 1965, by repealing Part 5, which deals with defamatory and seditious libel, has been read a third time and passed into law.
Honorable members, on your behalf, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the representatives of the media and the Ministry of Information for having been with us throughout yesterday or throughout the last few days, culminating in achieving a very desired and long-awaited result. May God bless all of us. And may God bless journalism so that we can see it prosper and thrive and become another source for businessmen to make money. To make money. We are moving it from a pastime to an industrial, professional, to a profession that is respectable, and to put it alongside journalism in the rest of the world. With that, honorable members, this House stands adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Mr. Speaker, do we know the rationale for tomorrow's sitting? We need to get on to you. Do they know the reason?
You must have had the leader of government business.
We have no idea, sir.
You had the leader of government business.
Stabilizing for me there. No, stop me one. Stop me max down. Send her for me.